We've all been there. You're running late for work, rushing out of your car, turning the key in the ignition and nothing. Your car won't start, but it's not completely dead either. It's like it's playing hard to get. Well, fear not, my friends, because in this video, we're going to tackle that frustrating issue of a car that won't start but cranks. Hey there, car enthusiasts! If you're watching this video, chances are you're dealing with the oh-so-annoying problem of a car that won't start. But don't worry, we've got your back. In this video, from Car Computer Exchange, we're going to walk you through the steps to troubleshoot and fix the issue. We'll cover everything from checking the battery, to testing the starter, to investigating the fuel system and ignition system. By the end of this video, you'll be a pro at diagnosing and repairing a car that won't start but cranks. So buckle up and let's get started. Check the battery. Well. Look who decided to join the party. Your car, that's who. Except it's not really joining in on the fun because it won't start. And if you're like most people, your first instinct is to blame the battery. It's like the go-to scapegoat for car problems, right up there with blaming your terrible parallel parking skills on a wonky steering wheel. But let's face it, batteries are like a fickle friend you can't quite rely on. They're always running low, and just when you think you've got a full charge, they pull a disappearing act on you. So how do you know if your battery is really the problem, or if it's just pretending to be dead to get out of a commitment? First things first, you need to identify the signs of a weak or dead battery. Do your headlights look like they're running at half power? Does the engine sound like it's struggling to turn over? Or do you hear that dreaded clicking sound when you turn the key? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then your battery may be to blame. Now before you go throwing your battery under the bus, let's try to revive it. You can confirm whether your battery is dead or alive by using a voltmeter. Don't have one? No problem. Just head on over to your local auto parts store and borrow or rent one. Once you've got it, make sure your car is turned off and the key is removed. Then, connect the positive and negative LEDs from the voltmeter to the corresponding battery terminals. If the reading is less than 12.6 volts, it's time to bid adieu to your battery. If you do need to replace your battery, don't worry. You're not alone. It's a rite of passage for every car owner, like getting a parking ticket or hitting a pothole. And if you're in a pinch, you can always jumpstart your car. Just find a willing participant with a running car, hook up those jumper cables, and voila! Your car should start up like nothing ever happened. Just don't forget to replace that battery as soon as possible, or you'll be right back where you started. Check the starter. The sweet sound of an engine turning over. It's music to any car enthusiast's ear. But what happens when your car won't sing its sweet song of combustion? Don't panic, my friend. We've got you covered. If your battery isn't the culprit, it's time to check the starter. Symptoms of a faulty starter can be downright irritating. From a grinding noise that makes you feel like you're chewing on rocks, to a whirring noise that's reminiscent of your old blender, but without the smoothie payoff. And let's not forget the most frustrating symptom of all, when you turn the key and nothing happens. Cue the sad trombone indeed. To check the starter, you'll need to arm yourself with a trusty multimeter. Don't worry if you're not sure what it is. Your local auto parts store can help you out. Once you've got your multimeter in hand, locate the starter under the hood of your car. Disconnect the electrical connections and remove the starter from the engine. Connect the multimeter to the starter's positive and negative terminals and let it do its thing. A reading of 0 volts means it's time to bid adieu to your faulty starter and replace it with a new one. Now, if the thought of replacing your starter has you feeling like a bit of a deer in headlights, don't worry. It's a relatively straightforward process, and with a little elbow grease and determination, you'll have your car starting up like a pro in no time. Start by disconnecting the battery cables, because safety first, folks. Then, remove the electrical connections from the starter and the mounting bolts. Install the new starter in reverse order and reconnect the battery cables. Voila! You're back in business, my friend! Are you feeling more confident in your ability to diagnose and fix a car that won't start but cranks? If not, don't worry. We've got more tips and tricks coming your way. But if you're feeling good about it so far, give us a thumbs up and let's keep going. Check the fuel system. Is your car running on fumes like a college student before payday? Or maybe it's gasping for air like a goldfish out of water. It sounds like your fuel system might be on the fritz, my friend. Don't worry, we're here to help you diagnose and fix the issue. First up, you'll need a fuel pressure gauge. It's like a blood pressure cuff for your car. Attach it to the fuel line and see if the fuel pump is pumping enough fuel to keep your ride revved up. If it's not, it may be time for a new fuel pump. But be warned, replacing the fuel pump is like performing surgery on your car. You'll need to disconnect the fuel lines, drop the fuel tank, and carefully extract the old pump. It's a dirty job, but someone's gotta do it. And if you're up for the challenge, your car will thank you for it. Think of it this way, you wouldn't let your pet goldfish gasp for air, so why let your car suffer? Treat it to a new fuel pump, and it'll be running smoother than a freshly waxed bowling ball. Plus, you'll feel like a real-life MacGyver for fixing it yourself. So go ahead, grab your tools, and dive into that fuel tank. Your car will thank you for it, and maybe even take you out for a spin to celebrate. Check the ignition system. The joys of car ownership. It's like having a needy and high-maintenance pet, except it's made of metal and gasoline. But let's face it, there's nothing worse than being in a rush to get somewhere when your car decides to have a mind of its own. If your car is sputtering and stalling like a drunk at last call or not firing on all cylinders, then it's time to check your ignition system. If you're not a mechanic, the thought of checking your ignition system might sound like a daunting task. But fear not, my friends, because I have a secret weapon for you. The spark tester. This handy little gadget is like a magic wand that can detect the presence of a spark. And who doesn't love a little magic? Simply remove the spark plugs, attach the tester, and give the ignition a whirl. If there's no spark, it may be time to swap out those old plugs. Now I know what you're thinking, but I don't want to spend a fortune on car repairs. Well, have no fear, because replacing your spark plugs is like giving your car a DIY manicure. It's easy, inexpensive, and will make your car feel brand new. Just remove the old plugs, gap the new ones to the manufacturer's specs, which is like filing your nails but for your car, and pop them back in. And if you're feeling extra fancy, you can even replace the ignition coils while you're at it. Who doesn't enjoy a little extra sparkle, am I right? So, the next time your car is acting up and you suspect it's the ignition system, don't panic. Just grab your spark tester and a set of new spark plugs, and give your car the love and attention it deserves. Because let's face it, your car is like your ride or die. It's been there for you through thick and thin, so it's time to return the favor. And who knows, with a little bit of TLC, maybe your car will start behaving like a responsible adult instead of a drunken mess on last call. Well folks, we did it! We learned how to diagnose and fix a car that won't start but cranks. We've gone from feeling helpless and frustrated to being confident and in control. So that's it for this video, folks. I hope you enjoyed learning how to fix a car that won't start but cranks. And if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to our channel, Car Computer Exchange, and ring that notification bell for more car-related content. Because, let's face it, there's nothing more satisfying than being able to fix your own car and showing it who's boss. Thanks for watching, and happy wrenching!